Have you ever wondered what it really takes to make Agile work? Well, at the Global Agile Summit, we're bringing you real-life, first-person stories of Agile succeeding out there in the real world that will inspire you to take action. Whether you're a leader, a product innovator, a developer, you'll hear practical insights from those who've done it. They'll be telling their own stories from the stage. I'll tell you more about this at the end of this episode, so stay back and listen to the full detailed description of what we have in store for you at the Global Agile Summit. But if you can't wait, you can go right now to globalagilesummit.com and check out our full schedule. For now, on to the episode, but I'll see you at the end of this episode with more details on the Global Agile Summit. Talk to you soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Success Thursday. This week we have with us Marina Lazovic. Hey, Marina, welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
So it's Thursday, of course. We're talking about success. But before we dive into that, Marina, share with us, what's your favorite retrospective format and why?
I like to keep retrospectives very simple. So maybe this is not, it's different from what a lot of Agilists and Scrum Masters and Agile coaches are recommending or using, because if you look at LinkedIn or Miroverse, there are a million different templates and formats. But for me, I like to keep it very simple, very simple. I'm not a fan of so many themed retros or playing games. Sometimes it can be fun, but from my experience with, and I was really even interviewing my developers a lot of times, like what do they like, what do they don't like when we do retros. What mostly came out was, they like to get to the point. They like to discuss mostly the important problems that they're facing, and they want it clear. They don't want to play around. So maybe it depends on the teams, but for me, that most feedback I got ever from development teams, like, let's try to keep it to the point. So, and that's also what I like. So I like to keep it simple. One of my favorite that's very, very simple, but it's so open that you can talk about anything, is the lean coffee retrospective. I don't know if you're familiar. It's like one big chunk is all the items to discuss. Like it's a swimming pool of ideas that anyone can put for whatever. Then grouped items or voted sometimes or often, if we have a lot of items on the board, we vote for the ones that are, or developers, basically the team votes for the ones that are most interesting for everyone. Then we group them if they are similar topics or they are somehow related, and we discuss them. And then, of course, actions. Every retro has to have some actions. And lately, I really use this for actions. Started using this format that is every action needs to have like who is going to do it. What, of course, is that action, and when is going to get done. So this is something I started really implementing lately with my teams, and I think it's really effective for actions. So
clarifies the ownership and also the expected outcome, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And keep it when. I didn't use this when statement previously. Before I thought, okay, we don't have to, sometimes the things we get busy and there are so many things on our plate. So let's not, sometimes we don't want to specify the date because we're probably not going to get it done by that time. But I think it's useful. And I found out that it's a good, creates a bit more of focus or accountability on that person, that, I said I'll do it by that on myself when I have actions on myself. When I say, okay, I will try to do it by that date, I really try to focus on doing it. When in opposite, then you don't have a specific date, you say, okay, I can push it a bit more.
Yeah, it's the Parkinson's law, right? Like if you give it an infinite time, it will never get done.
Yeah.
All right. But we do these retros because we want to help teams succeed. And of course, we want to succeed ourselves. So, Marina, when you think about success for Scrum Masters, how would you describe it? What is success for you?
For me, is every Scrum Master is, from my perspective, also not just there are so many stances of Scrum Master, like we know, like facilitator and coach and teacher and so on. But one big aspect that maybe was getting neglected, but I think lately is coming to surface as a really important part of the role is delivery. And accountability of a Scrum Master is to help support the teams to deliver in an optimum way. So whatever that optimal way means for the team, to perform optimally for that team. So, have a stable flow, have a good upward trend of delivery. So delivery is something at the end of the day we want in all of our teams, right? We are here, all of us, meaning the development teams, the product owners, the leadership. We are all creating some kind of, or we work, us that work in the IT industry, most of Scrum Masters do, right? We are building something for someone, some user, some client, someone at the end of the day. And we want to provide them with that quality of the product that we are delivering. So Scrum Masters really need to be accountable for that delivery and part of that delivery, not just focus on resolving conflicts and facilitating and so on. That's a big part, but deliver. So my really success factor is making sure at the end of the day that the teams deliver, get things to done.
Okay, so
whatever that means.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Okay, so because when we talk about delivery, it's a little bit of a tricky issue, right? Because, for example, Scrum Masters might say, well, the delivery is when my team is done. Well, if your team is the only one involved, that might be true. But even if your team is the one that is involved, wouldn't done be better defined as when a customer first used something? Okay, but then that delivers another problem, which is, okay, but we deliver a lot of things that never get used. So is something done even though it is available but not being? So how do you discuss that with the team? Because that opens up, product owner topics, that opens up flow of work end to end topics. How do you how do you define with your teams what delivery means?
Well, that's a really complex topic. Yeah, sometimes it cannot be really specifically answered, even with the team. Like you say, it opens a box of new questions. Really, what does it mean? But we need to. What I try to do is focus with the team specifically. If we're talking about delivery of specific Scrum teams, because Scrum can also be scaled, so we can talk about delivery of the whole platform or whatever on that scale. But if we're talking about the teams, I try to focus on their sprints to make it simple, because teams, there are things that are, and I really try to also talk about this with my teams and bring that awareness to them, because there are things that the teams can control, that is within their control, that they can influence, they can do themselves, and there are things that they cannot, that are bigger than the teams. If you're working in a larger organization where things are scaled, where there are a lot of levels, where the delivery is not just the end of sprint of a team, but there are larger deployments to different environments, to different states, to different stages, different big clients, and so on. So there are things that are in control of the team, and with the development teams, I mostly try to focus on that scope of their work. Of course, they need to have the awareness that they are part of the system, and how they, as a small element of that system, can have influence on that whole system. I try to use a very by myself, holistic approach, or have systems understanding of the whole process, and try to make my teams aware that they are a part of the system and they are very important part of the system. But on the other hand, I try to with them to focus on their part, because they cannot be of course responsible for everything. So we all as elements of the system.
So the discussion is, where does our circle of influence start and end,
exactly.
right? And let's focus on that. And that's actually very useful as a conversation, because it also helps us focus our retrospective actions, because we cannot, as a team, own actions that are beyond our circle of influence. Of course, we can delegate that to a manager, bring it up to the Scrum of Scrums or something like that, but we can't own it as a team, right? Because it's outside our circle of influence. So that idea of the circle of influence can also be used and be productive when discussing what delivery means, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I use in that conversation, and exactly what you mentioned, I use that also in retrospectives. So with the teams, we are clear on what is in our influence or what is in our control, what the team can actually do and change, and what is not. But it's not of course, even if it's not in the team's influence or control, it doesn't mean that there's nothing that we can do about it. There is absolutely, we are having a lot of these conversations and a lot of these problems. I can even give an example that's happening with one of my teams. There is a problem. There was a problem with not really clear process of the second level support in the company at some point. And all those incidents and some kind of production issues and so on were coming directly to our development team. That wasn't really ideal for them, because they're mostly working on new features and we have plannings and so on. And these things are not just only disruptive, but they are involve a lot of changes and a lot of time pressure but these things were not really in the control of the team to change. It's an organizational issue that there's a process being defined, the people, teams being hired, and so on, something that the company is aware and trying to resolve on another level. But it was very influencing the team, and they had a lot of complaints, how much that is disrupting their work, and how can we fix it? But it wasn't theirs to fix. That is what I tried to tell. It's not something that they can fix, but it's of course good to bring it up, because we can make the management, the leadership, whoever is responsible for solving that problem, we need to make them aware of the problems that the team is facing and how is that impacting the delivery.
Exactly. But it really is useful to recognize that boundary, because then we say, okay, we make them aware, maybe we follow up, maybe we go to their retrospective or whatever, but we can't take ownership because it's not within our circle of influence. Yeah, absolutely. Great story. Also, great conversation about delivery. So thank you for that, Marina.
Thanks.
Hey, friend, thank you for staying. Here is all you need to know about the Global Agile Summit. If you've ever suffered or know people who are suffering from Agile fatigue, this event is for you. Agile fatigue is that feeling that settles in when we can't really see a light at the end of the tunnel. We get discouraged, especially when conversations revolve around the same old frameworks, the same old buzzwords and theories. We don't feel that energy anymore. Well, the Global Agile Summit is a different kind of event. We're bringing you real-life first-person stories of Agile succeeding out there in the real world that will inspire you to take action and transform the way you work. The Global Agile Summit will happen in Tallinn, Estonia, May 18th, that's the workshop day, and then 19th and 20th, the conference day. And Tallinn, Estonia is one of the most innovative tech hubs in Europe. The Global Agile Summit is hosted together with Latitude 59, which is kind of a citywide celebration of software startups and groundbreaking ideas. And we'll have a shared ticket for you to attend those events as well. So who will be speaking? Well, we've got an incredible lineup of thought leaders in software and Agile. For example, Clinton Keith, the person who literally wrote the book on game development with Scrum and is busy bringing Agile to the world of game development. You must check his session. The very famous and well-known Jürgen Apelo, author of Management 3.0, will be talking and exploring about AI's impact on leadership. We also have Gojko Adzic, who's taking an unconventional look at the product growth with his lizard optimization keynote. Other speakers include, for example, Sven Dietz, who's challenging everything we know about software development by literally ditching contracts and estimates. Can you imagine? His teams deliver software before their competitors are even done with the contract negotiation. How agile is that? But there's more. We'll cover engineering practices in our developer track with talks on, for example, AI-assisted test-driven development, developing products in minutes with a different approach to how we develop, configure, deploy platforms, and much more. We also have a product track where we cover cutting-edge ideas around product discovery, delighting customers with product delight frameworks. We'll have a talk about that. And we also have an Agile business track where we will talk about, for example, open strategy, a very agile approach to managing organizations and delivering software faster to clients, faster than you can even write a contract, literally. I mean, I already told you about Sven Dietz's story. It's amazing. It definitely is a must-see. I'm sure you'll be inspired and get a lot of ideas for your own software projects and software delivery. Now, whether you're a business leader, a product innovator, or a developer, you'll definitely find value in our 3 focused tracks. That's Agile Business for those working with businesses and organizations, Agile Product for product managers, product owners, and innovators, and Agile Developer for the builders, making Agile work in practice, the coders, the testers, the designers, the producers, the Scrum Masters, you name it. If you join, you will meet over 200 Agile professionals from all over the world. People who, just like you, want to grow, want to share, and want to learn by challenging the ideas that don't work anymore. At the Global Agile Summit, you'll get new connections, fresh ideas, and the energy to take your own Agile to the next level. And who knows, maybe even find your next career opportunity. So don't miss out. Check out the full program and grab your ticket now at globalagilesummit.com. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all in Tallinn, Estonia in May. I'll see you there.